3, 2, 1. Wager Talk Today with Prez is live.
Let's make some money. Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. I'm Lawrence Prezman. This is the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Great lineup. 6 guests today. Gianni The Greek right off the bat. He's going to give us the Steam report, where all the wisest, smartest, best betting syndicates in the planet, where their money is going. Andy Lang after that. He's got some prop bets for us. Brandon Siefkin is joining us. Tokyo Brandon, the best baseball bettor alive. He's going to tell us how to bet Milwaukee and Seattle and Texas and San Francisco. And, of course, we've got a 3-pack of NBA games. Marco D'Angelo is going to join us. He's going to take apart the Indy-Milwaukee game and the Lakers and Minnesota. We're going to end the show with some UFC. Andrew B. from the Westgate joining us. But let's get going right off the bat with Gianni The Greek. My man, how are you, my friend? What's going on over there?
Never better, man. Coming off a nice 9-3 in the draft. Told you it was going to happen. It happened. I live for those props, man. I ended up narrowing it down to those 12 bets. I only had 3 going into draft day. Waited for confirmations, unloaded, turned out well. Up over 60 units now for 2025. Sitting still number 1 in baseball overall. Just a great year, man. Great year. And we're just warming up. So I'm really excited for this weekend too.
You got it. And if you listened to the show yesterday and you read between the lines, Gianni was super excited about under 2.5 quarterbacks in the first round. Boom. That was a great bet. And, listening to your intonation, it was clear how much you loved that bet. Guys, before we get into the Steam report, really quick, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, make sure to comment. Also, 1 p.m. Eastern time, myself, Matthew Barnaby, Andrew McGinnis, Andy Lang, Tim Peel, who is a referee in the NHL, and Jason York, an ex-NHL player, will be discussing all the NHL games tonight and tomorrow. So stay with us all the way through. That's live at 1 p.m. Gianni, speaking about NHL, because I mentioned it, let's start there. What are you seeing on the bets for the NHL card?
All right. Some sharp money on Montreal. I worry about that one, Prez. The guy that shared it with me, his team bets NHL. They've done very well during the regular season. Not so great in the playoffs. Right. They took Montreal. The public's on Montreal as well. So it's going to be the books versus the world in that one, as the books are going to need the road favorite Washington to get the W. I actually liked Washington. If the line drops even lower, I'm going to fade the Steam there. They also took Edmonton, another public play. So it looks like the Sharps and the public agreed tonight. Those are actually the 2 heaviest bet NHL sides. Carolina, New Jersey, 50-50 action. Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought it would be, Carolina would get the money. Usually the favorites do, but that's not the case. Good 50-50 action. So Montreal and Edmonton, both sharp, but the public's just as heavy on them. I usually stay away from those situations.
Yeah, and Gianni, it's interesting because Washington 25-13-3 on the road. Really, really strong road team. I feel like this game has a little bit of that Toronto-Ottawa feel to it. I don't know, man. I think I'd probably lay a small amount on the tie, plus 320, 340. I don't know. I feel like Montreal and Ottawa are a little bit out of their depth right now. NBA, my brother, 3 games tonight: Boston, Orlando, Indiana, Milwaukee, Minnesota, and the Lakers. Shout out to Indiana. A great start to the playoffs for them against a veteran Milwaukee team.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Orlando has it tough. And shout out to Minnesota and the Ant-Man. This guy, Gianni, I mean, there are money ballers, and he sits on top of all of them. He is one of those guys that brings his best when playing the best. And here he is today at home playing the Lakers. Where's all the money going in?
All right. And Block Beat, if you're running cold, brother, just limit bet size limit volume till it turns around, my man. Don't worry. It always does. You'll have some swings. Nothing wrong with the negative swing. Here's what's going on there. Sharp bettors took Orlando immediately at the open of +6. I don't know anyone that got it, but that was the opener. Didn't last long. Then the 5.5. That's where a couple groups got involved, took out all the 5s as well. That's why you're seeing 4.5 pretty much across the screen. Public's a little heavier on Celtics, but it's not even going to offset the sharp money that did come in on the Orlando side. Bucks, Pacers, all Bucks. I know a group that did lay the 3 on Milwaukee, but I would not be surprised if they came back and took the Pacers if this one gets the 6. They have a nice middle there because they backed off. They just laid the 3, which wasn't there long. And since then, it's been nothing but public money on Milwaukee. That's the most one-sided game, in fact. And finally, the nightcap, the public's all over the T-Wolves. So they're betting Milwaukee big. They're betting the T-Wolves big. Books are going to need some dogs to go barking tonight because, again, Bucks and T-Wolves, that's the parlay. That's the teaser. That's the straight bets. And the only thing I can tell you is sharp group that took the 5.5 on Orlando and laid the 3 on Milwaukee. I haven't released the premium in NBA except for tomorrow. A look ahead, going to give you some free plays right now. We bet Golden State, laid the 3 on Golden State immediately, and I think I bet the total too. Yeah, I gave out over 203 to my subscribers there as well. So I'm on Golden State and over for Saturday.
Gianni The Greek joining us, one of the best bettors alive, killing it this year, and an even better guy. Gianni, baseball, my brother, and UFC.
Dude, car accident the other day, I'm still stiff. Early game, public and the sharps are on the Cubs. -120, 25, 30, 35. Be careful there. They usually get out ahead of the market on that early game, especially when it's the Cubs, especially when it's the Cubs at home. Don't be surprised if a scalp is worked and it's not legit. This one is real, and I like it as well. 958 Colorado, +120, +115, +110. I like Colorado a lot there. And they also steamed the under. They laid -120 at 10.5. They went all the way up to -140 to get under 10. Yep. And then at 9.5, laid the under 9.5 as well. So I'm not sure. Got to be the weather in Colorado. No doubt. Under 10.5, under 10, under 9.5. And then Atlanta, also 959. Atlanta, I like that side as well. Road favorite. They should be closer to -150 against Arizona here. Not sure why they're sitting at a shorter price. Atlanta -115, Atlanta -120. My group bet that. We also bet Colorado. And finally, 965 Toronto, +130, +120, +115. We bet that as well. So the group I work with, we're on Colorado, we're on Atlanta, we're on Toronto. 2 dogs and a favorite. And like I said, other guys share with, he gave me Chicago, and his team blasted the under in that Colorado total. Again, lower volume early on, but that's definitely some sharp action in Major League Baseball.
And real quick, we got a UFC card this weekend. What's your favorite bet on that card?
Well, I have a 5%, so I can't give that.
Yeah,
that would be disrespectful to those that paid. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a 4% play that I just released this morning to subscribers. In fact, probably about 15 minutes ago, so the line should still be there. And that's on Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell over Jimmy Flick. I know Schnell's lost 3 of his last 4, but this matchup is so advantageous for us. Flick's got one path to victory. That's his grappling. Not going to happen against Schnell. Lay the 180 comfortably. I gave it as a 4% play. Over 200, I'd start to limit my bet a little bit. But I'm surprised. I think he actually wins this fight 3 out of 4 times. Like, that's why I made it a 4%, even though it's chalky. So I like Matt Schnell tomorrow. Released that this morning to subscribers. There's 4 plays in that package already. 2 4%. You got one of them, a 5% and a 3%. And rest assured, more will be going in there between now and fight night tomorrow.
Guys, stay with us. Andy Lang coming up. Tokyo Brandon doing some baseball bets for us. We got Marco D'Angelo taking apart 2 NBA games, and we also got more UFC later on. Gianni, you got the steam room going tonight. Tell us about that. And
free. I'm
free?
opening an open house because there's so much going on this weekend. I want to share, and hopefully that baseball comes in, that college baseball, like we did the last free Steam room where we just kept firing on college baseball and had a really good day. We're going to go over everything, obviously UFC, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, year-to-date results, long-term and short-term, and of course, money management. And we're going to talk a little blackjack as well. Come hang out with me. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing it leading up to the games at 7 p.m. Nice. I wanted to lead up to the games to give you some actionable betting information for Friday night. So make sure you join us if you get a chance, 6 p.m. Eastern. The link will be available at WagerTalk and on my social media as well, Greek_gambler. And I gave out free picks yesterday. Always check my free picks play. Out of those 12 that I gave in the draft, 2 of them I gave out for free on the picks play, as well as, obviously the under 2.5 quarterbacks, which was the biggest bet at 3%. So make sure you check that free picks play. I'm trying to put out free premium every single day because I have enough, volume, not heavy volume this year, but enough to share.
There we go. Gianni The Greek, everyone. Outstanding segment, my brother. Love having you with us. Guys, we're going to take care of some business first. Then we will bring Andy Lang on to talk some prop bets for us. So, right off the bat, we have a gentleman logged on into the chat room, Sean Burley. He writes, Prez, I love the gist. Prez, just admit you were wrong on the Blues yesterday. Said they could only win if it was a low-scoring game. Oh, my God. I was wrong on oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dan. What are we going to do? Should I be removed from the show, Dan?
It's not a bad idea. He did compliment you directly after it, for what it's worth. He did say, but your hockey picks have been on fire.
But then the next guy, Dan, Clock Gauge, in capitals. Prez, wrong on the Vegas best bet also.
I didn't know dogs could type either. So you learn something new every day. A great looking dog knows how to work a keyboard. You learn something new every day, Prez.
Dan, I mean, I don't know what I was right on the Toronto pick. I was right on the Toronto under.
Yeah,
pick.
but those don't matter. I don't care what you're right on.
Yeah.
I want to rip you on what you're wrong on.
Right.
I don't want to tell you
Well, I'm appreciative that you're not throwing me off the show right now, Dan, because shame on anyone coming on and being wrong. Oh my God. Anyway. Damn, Prez, get it right 100% of the time. Anyway, guys, I'm 4-2 in the NHL playoffs so far. I'm up big profit. I'm the #1 NHL expert this entire season. And I am 6-1 in my NHL 5% plays. I got my first 5% play up for the playoffs tonight. I'll give you guys a promo code, Prez10. Prez or Z, Prez10. You get $10 off of my 5% play. If you've been watching the Blue Line, if you've been getting all my NHL picks, you're making a killing. Consider this a tip. Go and buy my NHL 5% play. And yes, when I say consider it a tip, stunning pun. Andy, do you get it? Do you get my stunning pun?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Not bad.
Okay.
You've set the bar really high with some of your jokes. And some of your best jokes have gone over everyone's head. That's one of the funniest parts is when you make a great joke and the guest doesn't realize it. So
yeah, well, Dan does. Honestly, Dan and I have a great relationship on Slack during these shows, Andy Lang. Dude, I got a 5% play tonight in NHL. I'm so freaking pumped about it. I'm pumped, man. I love the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, they're great. I'm on cloud 9. My Colts got Tyler Warren in the steal of the draft. The Colts have so many people to thank for getting Tyler Warren. We have to thank the Jets for passing on a playmaker and going after another offensive lineman. We have to thank the Bears for drafting a different tight end. We have to thank the Cowboys because when they announced the Cowboys
Tyler.
Pick, they draft Tyler, and we were like, no. who? And then it was like Booker. It's like, oh my God. So we got Tyler Ward. It's a great feeling when your team gets like this unbelievable player that falls to him. That never happens to us, but happened this one. So it's a great day. Yeah. I got to ask you, I was talking to my wife about this. I don't understand going to the draft as a spectator. Dude, they had over 200,000 people there.
Well, so I would rather go to the draft as a spectator than go to a golf tournament as a spectator.
Really?
Because at the draft as a spectator, I can just sit on I can get high or drunk, sit on my phone, watch TikTok, make phone calls, and just have a nap. At a golf tournament, I'm outdoors standing the whole day. I can't see shit. I'm shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of other people. I'm sweating. I'm miserable. And like I said to somebody, I have zero interest in watching people ski, golf, or have sex. Those are the three things I want to do myself. So watching others do those three things would piss me off anyway. So yeah. Sorry to
it's the one big event I don't understand and I have no interest in going to, but apparently there are a lot of people. All right, I know we got a heart out here. I'll start going through these props here. We got to talk about the Celtics and the Magic. Let's go back to Peyton Pritchard over 13.5 points. Listen, Jason Tatum is hurt, probably not going to play, and now Drew Holiday has popped up on the injury report with a hamstring strain. These injuries are hitting the Celtics at the worst possible time. But here's the thing. When these guys are hurt, Pritchard gets the opportunity. He's gone over in both games in the series, 19 and 14 points. And he played over 32 minutes last game without Tatum. He's getting 6 3-point shots per game. He's shooting 40% from three. He's getting 11 overall field goal attempts. He hits 60% of his field goals. So I think Peyton Pritchard over 13.5 points is a really good look. If you want to wait until closer to game time, if Holiday gets ruled out, my guess is this number goes way up. So if you want to take it now, I'd take it now. I can't wait to run this stat by Barnaby when we do Blue Line Prez. I'm going to take Darnell Nurse over 1.5 shots on goal. He has 5 and 6 shot attempts the first 2 games in the series, 3 shots on goal each game. Prez, this stat's going to blow your mind. He has more shots on goal in this series than Connor McDavid, which is maybe one of the reasons why they're down 2-0. But Darnell Nurse has been getting the shots, not Connor McDavid. And then we'll go to UFC and we'll do a peaceful parlay. I got 2 fights that I think are going to go the distance. And it's actually the first 2 fights of the night. Chandler and Edwards is going to go the distance. 2 women that don't throw a lot of volume on their strikes. They're not great submission specialists. They're durable. They got good cardio. I think this is going to be a lot of clinch work against the fence. I think that goes the distance. And then Timmy Kwamba against Roberto Romero. Both guys decent strikers, but not these heavy punchers. Timmy Kwamba, his Contender Series fight and both UFC fights have gone the distance. Romero went the distance in his UFC debut. So first 2 fights of the night, you parlay those together, go the distance, you get minus at 115.
There we go, guys. Andy Lang is normally not on Mondays, but this Monday he'll be on. Make sure to watch Andy in an hour or so from now, live on the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. Mr. Lang, what do you have to promote?
Big weekend for us. This is a very bettable UFC card, and we've got big plays up. We've got our 5% best bet that's up, 10-2 MMA run, number 1 in profits in 2025 in the UFC. So really happy with that. We have a couple of NHL best bets that are up for tonight. So looking to cash in NHL, and then it all comes down to tomorrow with this big UFC card. So you want to grab a 3-day pass, that's great. But really, we suggest getting those longer-term packages, 30 days. We got the 365 days pass that's up, comes down to $99 per month. I get it's a big investment. If you want to reach out to me and talk to me about it, more than willing to do that. But for short-term, let's cash in the NHL tonight and in UFC.
Perfect. Andy Lang, everyone. Have a great freaking hour until I see you next. Guys, I forgot to mention, Ariel Epstein will be joining us on today's show. She's got some MLB prop bets coming her way. Yes, that's right. Ariel Epstein, she's freaking awesome. We'll see her very soon. But speaking about baseball, I mean, if you guys are not betting Tokyo Brandon's baseball plays, and I'm talking daily, I don't understand what you're doing. Do you just not like money? Are you trying to turn $1 million into zero fast? Like what would the possible reason be to not be betting Tokyo Brandon's baseball plays. I'm curious. Aren't you, Tokyo?
What's up, Prez? Yeah, I'm very curious. That's very odd. I'm 8-3 in the last 3 days. And
okay,
yeah,
stop. Everybody is 8-3 in the last 3 days, or the
No,
3
they're
days.
not.
But let me finish. We all have 8-3 days, bro. We all go 8-3. A squirrel can go 8-3. You
Okay,
get on this
I get
show
that.
and you tell everyone you are a god. Long term.
Damn.
You go 3-8. Just to let you know, everyone, Tokyo Brandon has been 3-8 as well. He's also been 2-10. But you know what he is?
Happened.
The winningest baseball bettor on this site every single year, lifetime, 6 lifetimes, dates back to Alexander the Great, like 300 AD. That's how good this guy is. Don't come on here with an 8-3 streak when you're way better than that. Anyway,
3 of the last 4 years, number 1 in profit on the whole site. That's true.
Now we're talking, Tokyo Brandon. Now we're talking.
That's true.
Okay, brother. Let's get into this. Let's get into some baseball. Milwaukee, the Milwaukee. So I picked these 2 games: Milwaukee, St. Louis. Milwaukee plus 110, over and under 8. I really chose the 2 games because the lines were close, and the teams weren't horrendous. So how do we bet this one?
Okay. Notice
and what the hell has happened to St. Louis?
Notice I dressed in a way where you're not commenting on my wardrobe finally.
No, okay. I'm just bored with that. I could comment all day, dude.
Yeah, no fur today. Sorry, no pimping. But yeah, what happened to St. Louis? I'll tell you what happened to St. Louis. They just finished a series with the Braves and the Mets in a row. 2 of the best bullpens, 2 of the best starting rotations in all of Major League Baseball. I think the Cardinals will bounce back a little bit. So we got Chad Patrick going for the Brewers. We got Liberatore going for the Cardinals. Patrick has a decent ERA, but if you look at his X numbers, which are projections or should be, shall we say, so his xERA and his xFIP are both over 4. So it means he's been lucky to have the ERA that he has. I'm high on Liberatore. I think he's a pretty decent pitcher. He's been pitching out of his mind recently. St. Louis is 8-4 at home. I don't trust their bullpen though, so I'm looking at St. Louis in the first 5 on the money line. I grabbed it at -115, and I think you can too. St. Louis first 5 would be my small 1% play on this game.
Brandon, Texas playing San Francisco.
Yep.
Man, I really liked San Fran. I went there. I visited that place once, and if you can just ignore the feces that lie all over downtown San Fran, this could be one of the greatest cities in the world. Anyway, irrelevant to sports betting. -110, 7.5. How do we bet this one?
So the Rangers are taking on the Giants here, and we've got Justin Verlander going against Nate Eovaldi. Justin Verlander had a pretty rough start to the season, but his last start, he went past 6 innings, gave up only 1 run. He kind of looked like a vintage Justin Verlander with Kate Upton on his right arm. He looked pretty good in his last start. I'm not saying he's back to vintage Justin Verlander yet, but I do think he's going to see an uptick in his numbers and production. Nate Eovaldi is pitching out of his mind. I have him on a curved scale of 30 pitchers. I have him ranked in the top 1/3 of all MLB pitchers, ranked 9. He's doing really good. These 2 teams have 2 top 10 bullpens. San Francisco and Texas, both bullpens are solid. San Francisco is 14-2 against left-handed pitchers. That's something to keep in mind. But the way I'm going to go with this, I think Justin Verlander will last at least 5 innings. Eovaldi certainly will go 5. Well, nothing is certain in sports betting, but it's a high probability that Nate Eovaldi will also go 5 innings. And the bullpens are tight enough. Both lineups are a little bit slumping. on the downturn right now, especially Texas. Something's wrong with their lineup right now.
Yeah.
I like under 8 in this game. It's an alt line that I got for -140. Maybe it's slipping to -145. A little juicy, but I'd rather take an 8 rather than a 7.5 in this because major league hitters are major league hitters no matter who's pitching. But under 8 on the alt under, I like that play as a 1%er that I put out as well.
Guys, real quick, TB,
Yes, sir.
that would stand for both Tampa Bay and Tokyo Brandon.
Tom Brady.
The question is, what is it? Dan, come on and ask your question, because maybe
this is
we
just a quick line, because I want to know. I know Tokyo Brandon's got a lot of wins here. I asked, what does Tokyo Brandon have more of? Is it baseball wins this season or necklaces worn on this show? So right now the line started at necklaces -1.5. TB, do you have more necklaces or wins? Is really
yeah.
I have more wins.
Okay. All right. But that answers it, Prez. The 1.5 does not cash.
I don't have any tattoos, but each one of these has meaning, so I can explain them, but we don't have time for that.
Badass. And now Prez is flexing. We've lost the plot. We need to get to Marco, Prez.
And
just stop flexing. Stop flexing.
Let
Tokyo Brandon let the folks know what he has.
That's a good idea. I got a 5% play out today, but I'm not selling it as a single. I'm only selling it as a 3-day package, which you can get using the code TB3 for $39. You can get 3 days all access, including today's Major League Baseball money line play. And like Prez said, I'm the best baseball capper on the site, 3 of the last 4 years. So it'll be good value. 5% plays are normally $35. You can get 3 days for all access for $39. It's a good deal. Go to my page at wagertalk.com and use TB3.
There we go. Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Dan, I think he's coming on with a grill next show. What do you think, Dan? Like a full-on grill.
I'm all down for the Paul Wall grill. If he has a grill, I'll bow
Maybe
down
just
to
one.
Tokyo Brandon. Yeah, just one gold tooth.
All right there.
Like Shabba Ranks.
Okay. Like Hollywood Chef.
Yeah.
You got it.
There we go. Get out of here, my friend. Tokyo Brandon, everyone, as good as it gets in baseball. If you want to make some money, bet Tokyo Brandon. Whether he's on an 8-3 run or a 3-8 run, it makes no difference. Over an extended period of time, no one is going to make you more money in baseball than that cool-looking midlife crisis machine, Tokyo Brandon. Marco D'Angelo, you'd be in a midlife crisis if you were in your middle of your life. How are you, my friend?
I don't know how to follow that up there. I got to get some swag here. Come in.
Old age crisis. So it's a little bit different. My co-founder, my partner, one of the best dudes around, my drug mule when I come to Vegas, and my good pal, Marco D'Angelo. Love having you on, my friend. Love having you on. Let's get straight into it, and then we'll brag in a little bit. But let's talk about this Indiana-Milwaukee game. I was on Milwaukee last game. That was one of my very few losses I've had so far in both the NHL and NBA playoffs. Now they're -5.5 against Indiana. And I mean, talk about a must-win game. This is it. 230.5 is the total. How do we take apart this game?
Well, you look at those first 2 games, Prez, and Milwaukee was, dominated in both games. They got blown out by 19 in game 1, and then they did lose game 2 by 8, but they were down by as many as 16. They made a big rally in the fourth quarter and actually cut it to 2 points with just 2.5 to go. But if you look at the box score, and the difference in the game for me when I broke that game down is basically they were even in all of the stats but 2 areas. And again, I looked at the foul shooting. Indiana was 19 of 19 from the foul line, and that was crucial down the stretch once they cut the lead, because obviously you are going to foul, put them on the line, and then you got to answer with, a 3, and they didn't. The other part of the game that Milwaukee suffered in, they had a high turnover rate in that game. They had 15 turnovers. Those 2 stats were the difference in the game. The other big thing that I looked at in that game, and I think it's a plus going into game 3 tonight, and as you said, down 0-2, this is the season for them. We know you can't lose. You go down 3-0, series is over for them. Damian Lillard did return for game 2. He had missed 15 games with that blood clot in his leg. He played 37 minutes in that game on Tuesday night. He was rusty. He only scored 14 points. Horrible night shooting, 4 of 13 and 2 of 8 from 3. He needed that game. He'll be better tonight, in my opinion. Also, Milwaukee catches a break because he did play 37 minutes. He did look gassed at the end of that game. The fact that they played on Tuesday and not come back and play last night, having that extra day is going to be a big benefit for him. So with the home crowd, with Milwaukee, with Damian Lillard back in the lineup, second game back off the layoff, I expect more from him. This is going to be a spot where I'm going to look to back Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee fits an angle, Prez, and wait till I finish it at the end, because I know you're going to say, what the hell does that have anything to do with the playoff game? Betting on home favorites on Friday nights in the NBA, if they are coming off a loss to a division rival, since 2021, betting this angle blindly is 51-17. Now, if we had our buddy Teddy still on the show, he would be saying, well, Marco, what the hell does that have to do with Friday nights? The reason I bring something up like that, Friday nights and Saturday nights, the home crowds are totally different than you having a Monday night crowd or a Tuesday night crowd. You've got the weekend crowd. They're out. Most people don't have to go to work on Saturday. They're going to have a good time. They're going to be loud. They're going to be rowdy. That's one of these angles where days of the week do come into play. And here's a little tidbit. This season, Indiana's played on the road 9 times on a Friday night. They're just 2-7 in those games. I'll go ahead and take Milwaukee tonight.
There we go. Marco D'Angelo. I'm not going to get involved in that trend. No problem. Listen, if it works for you, it works. Who cares, right? Like,
Absolutely.
Andy Lang has a fade the baby trend. So any trend that is working is a trend I'm willing to look at. Okay. LA, the Lakers, they're playing Minnesota tonight. Minnesota have been playing impressive, to say the least. What do we do in this game? They're at home. They're -3.5 or -160 on the money line. 207.5. They lost their last game, 94-85. Marco, when was the last time a team put up 85? Is this from like 50? What kind of score is that?
This was a throwback to the 90s. I thought we were looking at Detroit or Chicago playing one of those, hard knock, up the floor, walk the ball up. But you know what? The season was on the line for the Lakers. Let's be honest, okay? We talked about Milwaukee and that other series being down 2-0. At least Milwaukee's would have been down 2-0 heading home. The Lakers could not be down 2-0 and heading on the road. Season over. So they had to get that game. They gave everything they had, and they pulled it out. Now, these two teams have played 6 times this year. They're 3-3. But people will look and say the Lakers are 2-1 since they got Luka, which is true. But, I look at the first game in this series. I had Minnesota, and I was on them strong in that game. They got the job done. I think Minnesota is the better team, even though the Lakers are the higher seed. You've got that built-in bias because it's the Lakers and it's LeBron. You're going to lay a price. I really do believe Minnesota should be a bigger favorite tonight. I stayed off of Minnesota in game 2. I was a little bit concerned with Minnesota because of the situation the Lakers were in with the must win, and the fact that Minnesota really accomplished their goal in game 1. When you go on the road to start a series, and this, Prez, whether it's hockey playoffs, NBA, or Major League Baseball, you want to just win one of those first 2 games. That's your goal. Come back home. You stole home court advantage. Yeah. And that's what Minnesota did. So I think the Lakers had the mental edge in that game and the focus. Now we've got a different situation. And the Lakers did something very uncharacteristic of this team. When they got Luka, I said, okay, this team already wasn't good defensively. They're going to be even worse. But they ratcheted it up in game 2. They got the job done. I don't see them doing that again in this game. Minnesota's got to force the tempo. And that is what you want to do against the Lakers. You want to force LeBron to have to play on both ends of the court. So I expect a quicker pace. 2 reasons. What I just said, and the Lakers have caught a break in this series in every game so far. And what that break has been is they had time in between games. Minnesota wants to force the issue tonight for the reasons I said, but they also want to set this up for game 4. And the reason I point that out now, because I won't be talking to you guys before game 4, is that will be the first time in this series that the Lakers are going to have to play with only 1 day's rest. They had 6 days before the game 1, and then they had 2 days in between both game 2 and game 3. They're going to come right back on Sunday. Instead of going Tuesday to Friday like this one, Sunday they'll be back here in 1 day. I am going to go ahead and ride with Minnesota tonight. I think they force the issue. I think that they get this job done in the second quarter or in the second half of this game, and you'll start to see LeBron having to play and make stops on the defensive side. You can't do it for the full 48 minutes. Something's going to lack either on the defensive side or the offensive side. Minnesota has too many offensive weapons. I don't think the Lakers can contain them. Yes, LeBron will get his points. Yes, Luka will get his, but I just don't see the Lakers making enough stops. Last stat I'll give you. I know this line.
No more stats. No.
82 and 42 home teams that allowed 95 or less points in their last game. Prez, when the line is +3 to -3. Now, I know that in some books this line has moved outside of that parameter to 3.5, but this was a solid -3 all day yesterday and early this morning.
Dude, you are the man. I slacked Dan. I'm like, Dan, the timing of the show is spectacular. We're going to have everyone off by 12:45. I'm going to get to eat my lunch before the blue line. Dan responds with, Marco's still to come.
Hey, Prez, the only thing is I give you all information. I'm not talking about my clothes. We're not talking about my wardrobe. So, if I take 2 minutes and I'm not talking about what I'm wearing, that's okay.
Marco, honestly, dude, you're so freaking good at this shit, and your breakdowns are unbelievable. I'm just having fun, brother. It's Friday.
No problem.
I'm just having fun with you. You have won 10 of your last 13 days of betting. Congratulations. And you're on a 22-11 all sports run. But most importantly, you're up 161 units the last 15 months. Very few people have won the type of money you've won over the last couple of years. Congratulations on that. What do you got going for the clients?
Oh, we've got a big Friday night card. It's headlined by a big 4% play. We're going to have several plays in that. There's going to be a minimum of 3 plays, maybe more. I'm still loading to that package. You can grab that tonight for $29, or you can take advantage of a full year. Get everything I have, every play I release. That package normally sells for $19.99. We've got it up right now, over $800 savings. You can pick up a full calendar year for $1,188. That's just $99 a month. It's the best way to go. Brings your cost down to the lowest price that you can get our plays.
There we go. Marco D'Angelo, everyone. Let's keep the show moving. Ariel Epstein joining us, and I'm excited to have you, Ariel. Your stuff on Twitter is amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. The Prop Queen brand is growing, and I'm excited to be part of WagerTalk for the baseball season.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Let's start right there. Tell us what you're going to be doing over at WagerTalk, when they could see you, what shows, and then we'll get into some actual sports bets.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, Saturday already, I'm going to be on from 11 to 11:45 around Eastern time on Last Call. Tomorrow, I know that we have, I think, Gianni, Brandon, and Teddy on the show. But mostly on Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be on there filling in for Kelly in Vegas so that she could get a few months off during baseball season.
There we go. And guys, if you aren't following Ariel on Twitter at Ariel Epstein, it's really, you've started your own business. Tell us about that quick and where people can see you. And I know you do a daily newsletter. Fill us in, Ariel. Let us know what's going on.
So I've decided to build the Prop Queen brand up, and it's a YouTube show Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time that you can catch YouTube, X, Instagram, Twitch. The newsletter goes out twice a day if you're a premium subscriber. It's not about selling picks. The newsletter is more, you know, when you leave things off your card, you go on a show like this, you say, hey, these are my best bets of the day. You leave off probably 5-6 things.
Right.
Right. The newsletter is my long list. The newsletter is, hey, these aren't like 5% plays. These are the whole card where I found edges in all the different markets. This is everything that I thought was something bettable. Now, there are days that my best bets go 0-2. There are days I go 2-0. But there are days that those 0-2 plays are the only 2 losses out of 10 plays that I list on the newsletter. That's the point of the newsletter. It lets the bettor make the educated best. I guess I'm just here to narrow down the board.
Okay. Well, speaking of narrowing down the board, you've got 3 prop bets for us. One on Zach Gallen, one on Michael King, and an actual game bet on the Rockies. Let's hear them.
The props, so strikeout props is what gave the prop queen name life. So I love strikeout props in Major League Baseball. I like Arizona's righty Zach Gallen over 5.5 Ks. Listen, I bet the D-backs last night with Corbin Burns and lost his under. So I'm going to go for an over. There's only been one time this year that Gallen has faced a high K rate team, and that was against the Yankees. He had 13 strikeouts in that start. Now, Gallen last year against high K rate teams averaged just over 6 strikeouts a game through 18 starts. The Braves this year, I mean, pretty much the last few years, the Braves have been a strikeout prone lineup. 12 of the 19 righty starters to face the Braves have gone over their strikeout prop. I would take the over 5.5 Ks for Zach Gallen tonight. In underplay, the Padres righty Michael King, 6.5 just is too high against the Rays. So last year, King only went over this number one time against a low K rate team, and that was through 6 or 7 starts. This year, he's faced one low K rate team and did not go over 6.5 Ks. The Rays, they're one of the biggest, like the most drastic changes from last year to this year. Last year, the Rays were averaging just over 5 strikeouts a game against righty starters. This year, the Rays are averaging just over 3 strikeouts a game against righty starters, with 11 of the 17 starters going under their strikeout prop against Tampa Bay. So unders tend to hit more as a righty against the Rays this year. Now, I don't know, Prez, if I'll be able to get to the window on the Rockies. Yeah. I call this a fishy line. I say this on the Prop Queen pod all the time. A fishy line is reverse line movement. So it doesn't always mean to bet the non-public side, but it means to stay away from the public side. Today, the public side is the Cincinnati Reds. Yeah. The line moved 12 cents against the Reds overnight, despite the Reds getting backed by 95% of the public. Of course, no one wants to back the Rockies. They're coming off a doubleheader yesterday on the road. They lost both games. Here's the difference. The Rockies have a lefty on the mound, Kyle Freeland, today, who pitches better at home. The Reds have the 3rd worst batting average in baseball against lefties. So maybe you go first 5 Rockies here. Maybe you take them plus a half a run in the first 5. Maybe you don't trust their bullpen. But all in all, Prez, just stay away from the Cincinnati Reds today.
Yeah, and Ariel, it's interesting you mention because that total is plummeting as well. So something is going on in that game, sidewise and total-wise. And you're right. When things look fishy, you're just better off staying. There's so many betting opportunities. You just gave out 2 great prop bets. So I agree with you. Listen, we're really lucky to have you join us for the summer. Thank you for taking over for Kelly. She certainly deserves the break, to say the least.
No kidding. And she's got travel plans. Go figure. I think she has about 18 flights already booked.
Oh, wow. Is she doing like a Europe trip?
She is actually in August. She's going to go to the K-State game in Ireland.
Oh, that's so cool. Both my daughters are doing Europe trips as well. So I actually might head down in July to meet them. Why not?
Ooh, you should. Kelly and I did Italy last year. We had an absolute blast. It's the best because you go there. I mean, me and Kelly love our wine. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's no like even happy hour. I mean, they have aperitivo, but like you could have alcohol for lunch, breakfast, dinner. They don't care. Just have your wine. It was perfect for us.
Well, me and my youngest love our mushrooms, and I don't know if they're going to have any in Edmonton, but come on, dad of the year. I've done mushrooms with my kid 3 times already. Ariel, thanks for doing this. I'm so excited about what you're doing and the prop queen. Guys, make sure to follow Ariel on Twitter. Honestly, one of the best brands in this game. Thank you, Ariel.
Thank you, Prez. I appreciate you.
Okay, Andrew Babbitt to Baba Haba to Balaba Shmaba joining us. What up, B?
What's up? How are you today?
It doesn't even have a hard last name, Prez. It's literally just phonetically sounded out. You can do it. I believe in you.
Babakitis.
That was
Pretty
close. Babakitis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Babakitis. So where's the key in the spelling there, Dan? Where? Show me the
K
key.
in the I. That's where the key comes in.
Oh, the K. Oh, so he's now Japanese. Okay.
No comment.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Andrew B. You got great hair, man. Welcome to the show. What do we do in the UFC?
That.
What do we do in the UFC card?
Yeah, I mean we're back with another week of UFC. We finally got a week off, so it's nice to have some fights back. I'll just go quickly through some of the early fights on the card that probably don't warrant as much handle, but we have some sharp action. So starting at the very bottom, Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards, one of the respected guys, came in early on the Edwards side at -220. That price has moved over 100 cents. We're sitting now in the $3 range on Edwards. Going up the list, Damon Blackshear is another guy, big chalk favorite that was bet by one of our sharp guys at -320. That price is now sitting -$5. So you kind of don't love to see that much chalk early. We're going to need one of the dogs early. And our sharpest UFC bettor actually came in early on Jimmy Flick, one of the big underdogs at +280. That price has plummeted. So now we're sitting -170 on Jimmy, what is the price now? Sorry. Yeah, Matt Schnell's -170. So that price has moved about 150 cents as well. Some really big movers on the UFC card this week. Big slate, 14 fights. Then we'll talk about the main event real quick. Carlos Prates versus Ian Gary. The price opened a flat pick'em, -110 both ways. Early money was coming in on Gary. We got as high as -150. And we started taking some Carlos Prates money at that +120 range, +115. So this has been a real fun one and easy one to, balance the books because there's been strong opinions on both sides of this fight for the main event.
What's your favorite bet?
Man, the guy who bet on Jimmy Flick is the guy I will tail no matter what. So I would say that. But the price has already moved so much, so I'm not going to recommend betting something at +140 that you could have bet at +280 less than a week ago.
Right.
I also like Michel Pereira on the card. I think this is a good spot for him to keep his win streak going, move up into the top 10.
Wonderful stuff. Andrew Babakitis from the Westgate.
Right, yeah.
We love the Westgate. Anything to promote for them before we call it a show?
I mean, we had a big day yesterday, all the games, the playoff hockey, the playoff basketball, the draft. So it was packed here at the Superbook. Stop by. We're offering pretty fair splits on the baseball, really competitive pricing. So, if you want to stop by and give us a look, feel free.
There we go. Andrew Babakitis, everyone. Outstanding. Daniel Son, we're done. That's the week, everyone. What a show. 6 people. We raced through it all. Tons of betting information. I got a 5% play in the NHL. Make sure to grab that ASAP. Also, in 11 minutes, we are live with Matthew Barnaby, some NHL players, an NHL referee, Andrew McGinnis, Andy Lang. It's going to be incredible, live in 10 minutes. See you there, guys. And we'll see you on Wager Talk Today on Monday.